Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
That's right, I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
Welcome back, Sam. How are you?
Doing all right.
So you survived your trip to the Netherlands?
Yeah, just really walking around, all those nethers. Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. No, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, the nether regions of Netherlands.
No, don't. Ooh. Yeah, it gets pretty swampy there. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, a little sticky. Did you get to listen to our Ask Dad episode?
Oh no, I didn't.
Damn, because we discussed where you were in the Netherlands and what you were doing.
Oh no.
You're just gonna have to find out when you listen to the episode now.
Okay. I will do that.
Yeah, but how's life? Because if I'm not mistaken, this is your first Lost episode in your new place.
It is.
What's it like, man? What's the setup? Is it ready to go?
No, not at all.
Oh, damn.
Not at all. No, I'm recording this in our bedroom because the room that is supposed to be the office is a mess. We don't even have our desk. I'm currently, my mic stand is connected to a TV tray.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just a real, it is what it is.
Hey, man, indie. It's indie,
Yeah, it gets the job done. So,
well, that's good. A lot has been happening lately. You weren't able to join us for the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
What have we missed in the real world that we haven't got to talk about? We already discussed all the Comic-Con stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Has there really not been
or we just don't care?
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Well, okay, they did officially announce that Robert Downey Jr., Doctor Doom, is going to be the Doctor Doom of the Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know about that. I knew he was coming back as Doctor Doom, but
yeah. See, so I didn't know that, and then apparently everyone was, well, of course he was going to be, and then I am recusing myself from this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm kind of done. I think I don't know if I'm necessarily done with if it's exclusively Marvel movies or if it's superhero movies, but I just feel like I'm kind of over it.
You're just done caring at this point.
Yeah, I'm done caring. I think I'm sort of at a point where I'm like, I'll watch a trailer, and if the trailer gets me, then I'll be excited. Then I'll go in,
right.
But hearing all the announcements and hearing all this stuff, it just kind of it doesn't have the luster that it used to have for me anyway. So I'm just sort of
agreed.
Just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Good,
I can't think of anything that I'm really excited for. Well, okay, I lied. I am pretty excited about Alien Romulus, which just, I think, came out today as of recording this.
Yeah. Today.
I was gonna say it just went live. I do want to check that one out. So let me know.
Let's go.
I know. Let me know when you're gonna go see it.
Okay.
Maybe we could skip work again. I don't know. We'll see.
That should be a segment. That should be like a segment. It's like Matt and Sam skip work to go watch blank.
Was this movie work skippable? Like we said kind of last time we talked, I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine, but I don't think it was missing work, quality.
Yeah, not for
I
me.
wish I had just gone and saw it over the weekend or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, damn it. That's a day of vacation hours right there.
Right?
Uh, that's kind of how I felt today. As of recording this, guys, the new season of Fortnite dropped, and it's a Marvel season. I
Hmm.
really, really considered calling into work. I'm like, I just want to play Fortnite all day. But then I remembered I don't like playing Fortnite by myself. So it's like I would just not be playing all day. So
Yeah,
I'm like, all right,
yeah.
well, we'll go play
Uh,
later tonight.
in fact, I played a little bit before recording this,
Oh,
because I just wanted to see. I wanted to make sure that everything was loaded up,
oh, that's a good
and
point. I
all
need to
that. So,
update.
yeah, oof, but we're gonna pause the podcast. You're gonna go update it right now.
We're gonna do the rest of the podcast while playing Fortnite, guys.
We're gonna do it in Fortnite. Um, no builds.
It's
Hate
just gonna
builds.
be like, yeah, man, and that scene was so dramatic. And to the right, to the right, to the right. Damn
Oh,
it, damn
I'm
it,
out of
damn
ammo.
it.
I'm out of ammo. Ah, I gotta
Yeah,
run.
and
I gotta
anyway,
run.
no, no, Sam, no.
Well, see here, like that's why you've really got to look at the mise en scene of the entire moment that they have, and just be like, oh, there's a Tesla car. We gotta go get it. We gotta go destroy it. Destroy the Tesla truck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was fun. I like the battle pass. I think it looks really cool. Obviously, not everything's been revealed either, but it's pretty
Yeah,
cool. Cool stuff.
yeah, I'm excited for it. Let's see, what else is there? I guess there must not be anything else important. But yeah, everyone's loving Alien Romulus. Uh,
See, I'm getting kind of mixed.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay, but granted, everything's mixed these days. Everyone is saying like, meh, it's the third best Alien movie. What? You mean it's not as good as Alien or Aliens? Sure, I can believe that.
Oh, okay.
It's the
So
third best Alien movie in the franchise. But no spoilers. I don't know any spoilers, but I do know kind of a lot of people's complaints is
mm.
Ridley Scott. And they're
Oh,
saying
interesting.
take the keys away from Ridley Scott. I don't know what, I don't know how, but I think from what I've heard, there's some kind of connection to the prequel films with this one. And I'm like, which
Mm.
is interesting because I think it takes place between Alien and Aliens.
Mm. Okay, okay.
But they said it's great, it's an awesome movie, but Ridley Scott definitely had his hands on it. And I'm like,
Huh, that's interesting.
yeah,
I hadn't heard any of that. I'm actually a little bit more excited now for
really?
it.
Well, I think
Yeah,
you enjoyed Covenant and Prometheus a lot more than I did.
probably. Definitely not at first. Uh, I think because I went to go I watched Prometheus uh, at midnight. I don't
Hmm.
think it was the midnight premiere, but it was a midnight showing.
Hmm.
Um, I thought it was great. I was like, wow, this is incredible. Had my gripes, but and then yeah, like watching it again, like, and then that's just kind of the thing with the internet and pop culture. It's like
Yeah.
the second it becomes, this thing that we're all like, oh yeah, that movie sucks. It's like, yep, that's just the cultural identity of that movie from now on.
Yeah.
Um, so much so that it's like I feel like that the reaction to that is 100% why we get Alien Covenant.
Hmm.
Uh, because it feels like a response to, like, oh well, Prometheus doesn't feel like an alien movie. Um,
Yeah.
and it's I won't go too long on this, but I like both of them. I think I've I
Hmm.
think I've really come around on them. I think I have more problems with Covenant than I do Prometheus right now. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like I'm here for the big ideas. I'm actually
Yeah.
here for that. And that's kind of my thing. Like here's the like here here's the problem. The problem isn't Ridley Scott. Not really. The problem is that Ridley Scott can't get the movies that he wants to make funded.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
there
I
was
agree with that.
there was no way anybody was going to give him the money to make his big sci-fi opus that he wanted to do unless it was an alien movie. That's
Mm-hmm.
what Prometheus is. And
Mm-hmm.
then, we weren't going to get uh we weren't I he didn't I think like he still wanted to like tell stories and decided like, well, if anybody's gonna like muck up the Alien franchise, it might as well be me. And so
Mm-hmm.
kind of made Covenant. And really like Covenant is this odd piece because it's just nihilist and nasty. It's the most
Mm-hmm.
mean-spirited of the Alien movies. And that's saying something when Alien 3 exists.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, I think like and I think it still has its problems, but I think on the whole I just really enjoyed it uh a lot more a lot more. I just watched it recently and yeah, I kind of had a blast.
Mm.
So yeah,
Nice.
and I was kind of thinking like, man, wouldn't it be crazy? Wouldn't it be so crazy if Romulus was like a secret like Covenant sequel? I feel
Uh-oh.
like that'd be so
Look out.
dope. And
Yeah.
apparently all I got to do is look at Twitter and see people that like just like nah, Prometheus and Covenant suck, blah blah blah. Which is
Yeah.
such like a weird thing because that like at least like from what I'm seeing yeah, like there's a general consensus again of like Prometheus and Covenant not great, but then over on my letterboxd I've got people that are like giving 4.5 5 stars to Covenant, saying like this is one of the best Alien movies, like this
Yeah.
is incredible, this is a secret
You
masterpiece.
know
I'm
you know
like,
why?
wild.
Because there's less engagement on Letterbox. The
Yeah,
people
probably.
who just want to talk just to talk, they're on Twitter.
That's yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
true. That's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's 100%
I
true.
sent you this video on Instagram, but Sam only checks his Instagram every about 1 to 2 months, so he
That's
hasn't
true.
got there yet.
It's true.
It's this guy saying, "What if Star Wars was made today?" And
Oh,
like he's critiquing the hell out of it the way film Twitter does. He's like, "Did you see that? That stormtrooper just hit his head on that door." Yep, that's the take they did. That's the take they used. They left it in.
wow.
Garbage, garbage. And like it's mean spirited, but it's funny because it's making fun of like all those modern film critics and stuff. I'm like, is it
Hmm.
Princess Leia or Leia? You got to figure it out. And just all the little nitpicks. I'm like, dude, that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I saw a commercial today for Aspen beer, the official
Okay.
beer of Wayland Yutani.
Ooh.
And it's a whole thing saying it's showing because I guess the main cast is from like a mining planet or something because you're
Okay.
seeing footage of them working and stuff, and it's just saying we know how hard it is for you, and you just want to relax after a long shift of work, and what way to better to relax than having an Aspen beer? Relax. It's a beer ad. I'm like, that's really cool. And then at the very end in the fine print, instead of saying like you got to be 21 and up, drink responsibly, it
Hmm.
says hashtag what something drink responsibly. You must have 21 hours of work finished before consumption, or yeah, you must have 21 hours of work per beer. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, that's brilliant. I love
That's
it. I
brilliant.
hate Wayland Yutani so much.
Oh
Um,
man. You know a company would never do this.
hmm.
Cerveza Cristal.
Cerveza
Cerveza
Cristal.
Cristal.
Oh, dude, I love it. Like the aliens coming out to who runs into the first face hugger? Not face hugger. The mouth thing. What's it called? What's that called?
Just the second mouth
The
on the
second mouth.
alien?
Is
Yeah.
it Ripley? Is she the first character?
No, because that's like the primary way it attacks you. It's Harry Dean Stanton character, Brett.
Oh, isn't he the first one to go?
Yeah, he's well after
Yeah.
Kane. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so like when it kills him, like that's when it comes out, right?
Yeah.
So that's where it'll transition. The mouth opens, and instead it's a hand with a surface of
So
crystal.
Crystal. I
Oh
love
my
it.
God. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's incredible.
Well, we're gonna have to watch it, man, because as much as I'm dreading seeing it in the theaters, I really want to watch it before anything gets spoiled.
Hmm.
So,
I did already have one thing spoiled. I wasn't even looking. I
yeah.
was just like,
Snape
uh,
kills Dumbledore.
yeah,
No!
no, guys, I don't mean to, I don't mean to spoil this, but Jesus comes back.
Oh no! Man, I remember when I had definitely was it Deathly Hollows? No,
No,
Half
Half
Blood
Blood
Prince
Prince.
had spoiled. It was some pretty girl on MySpace. I click her profile picture, and the caption is "Snape kills Dumbledore." I was like, "No, no, she's just talking trash, right?" Nope, she did not. And then the closer as the scene's going on, I'm like, I can't believe this. This is happening. Like
Yeah.
it just changes the whole way you look at it. I'm like, damn it, I
Hmm.
hate people. Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a fan of Isabella Merced. The main guy, I don't know his name, but he was in Shadow and Bones, and I was really impressed by him in that. So it would be cool to see him in this. And I don't know any of the other cast at all.
Have you, before we move on, have you seen all of the Alien movies?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen Resurrection, not Resurrection. I've seen Part Three once.
Okay.
I never saw the Fincher version. I've seen Resurrection once.
Hmm.
I've seen AVP 2 once. Actually, honestly, outside of the first two, I've only seen the others once.
Mm. Okay.
And I've never got the courage to play it, but I've watched several playthroughs of Alien Isolation on YouTube. It is so terrifying. I'm like, I can't play this game myself. I have to watch someone else do it.
Apparently, there's a fun little Easter egg for Alien Isolation in
Oh, nice.
Romulus. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
The Freddie Alvarez was talking about it.
Is that how you say his
Um,
name? Freddy?
I think so. Oh,
Mhm.
maybe not.
It's
Oh,
not spelled Freddy.
that's right. Uh,
What else has he done?
oh, dude, he did the 2013 Evil Dead.
Oh,
That was the thing that like really put him up there. And then he
yeah.
did Don't Breathe.
Which one's
The
that?
that's the movie where, hang on, uh Jane Levy and a couple of other people break into this old man's house, and the old man is played by Stephen
Oh,
Lang. He's the blind vet, and he
yeah.
starts killing him.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's primarily a horror guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Let's get into this week's episode.
All right.
Okay, we're talking about Lost, season 5, episode 11. Whatever happened, happened. In which Kate, of all people, ends up being the one trying to save little Ben's life.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the only one, but she's like taking charge. I was like, wow, this is a
Yeah.
very surprising episode,
Yeah.
um, all around, and I think it's a much needed episode.
Mm-hmm.
Especially we talked about last week. It kind of was it last week's or the week before where it kind of slowed down a bit. Saeed being captured, and then them.
Yeah.
As fun as it was seeing them join Dharma and go through kind of like the
Like the orientation.
orientation and all that stuff, like I like that stuff. I like seeing that. I like seeing, it's like back to Harry Potter, when they're walking into Hogwarts for the first time, or seeing like anything like that. I introducing a character to like a new world. It's the one reason why I'm excited for the Starfleet Academy series, because I'm
Mm.
really excited to see a character who like this is literally their first, this is like day one of their adventure, you
Mm-hmm.
know? All the characters on Star Trek, they had to earn their ways into this ship, Starfleet
Mm-hmm.
Academy, like this is it. We're in school, we're studying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked that, It's the cultural anthropologist in me. It's taking someone and putting them into a brand new world, brand new setting. And I kind of dug that scene, Jack, Kate, and Hurley entering into Dharma. And we got more of that today as well, or with this episode as well, where we're seeing more a surprising connection between Kate and Ben's dad, you know? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of liking this. And then Horace, you know, asking Jack, who the hell are you? He's like, oh, I'm Jack, janitor. And then that kind of comes back later to bite Jack in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Just all that little stuff. I love that. But I still feel like at the halfway point of the season, it really slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
What it was, it's like, it reminds me of The Expanse because The
Yeah,
Expanse,
yeah.
the books, especially in the beginning, the books didn't exactly align up with the season finales.
Yeah.
So seasons 2 and maybe even 3, you get like 4 or 5 episodes into the season,
Mm-hmm.
and then the story ends. And then like the next episode, it's kind of like a reset, and the
Mm-hmm.
other story starts. So it's very slow. That's what I felt like this was.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first,
Me too.
what, 7 or 8 episodes, it's all about getting back to the island. And then once they do, reset,
Mm-hmm.
which was nice, but also slow. So this episode kind of picked things up again. And I don't know. I thought it was a great episode.
I did too. I did too. I was very surprised uh just how emotional this episode was,
Yeah.
you know, and just kind of cuz really not a whole lot happens, but it's just a lot of people having conversations and a lot of people making decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did a lot to sort of not salvage, but like repair Kate's character,
Yeah.
because I feel like Kate as a character has been not necessarily like a chaotic force, but just a selfish
Right.
force,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for about, you know, like 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um and even well into this season, you know, Kate is, at the end of the day, Kate's gonna look out for Kate, and you
Yeah.
know she's always been kind of selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Having her be confronted with that selfishness by using Aaron
Mm-hmm.
as as like the, you know, that anchor, you know, that like that's the thing. I loved that conversation, you know, where
Mm-hmm.
we find out it's like, you didn't do any of this for anybody else but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And Kate hearing that, like, it's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's heartbreaking, and I feel like it's heartbreaking because she didn't she didn't know that until she heard that. And
Right.
then it just made complete
It
sense. Like,
wasn't it wasn't a
yeah.
case of just lying to yourself.
Hmm.
she
Hmm.
she you know, she really didn't realize what she was doing, you know.
Hmm.
She didn't realize, I mean, it's a very selfless choice to take care of this kid. She didn't realize she was making the selfish choice at the
Yeah.
same time, you
Yeah.
know, and like just to wake up to that, you know. It's like, oh dude, that's crazy.
Hmm.
My only complaint is like, I wish they would have led with that, because this whole time we've been complaining about Kate, especially, you know, her not wanting to go back to the island, and all of a sudden she wants to and she's back, and we knew at some point we were going to find out why. But it's like, well, now I feel bad because, granted, still she's not a great communicator, but like, I'm down with that. Like, she's actually confronting her issue for once, and she didn't make the selfish choice. She made the selfless choice, and she's going back for Claire. And I
Hmm.
love that. I'm like, Kate's on a mission. Let's do it.
Hmm.
I wish I felt that way about Kate for these last 3 episodes, you
Yes.
know? And I'm just
Yes.
like, damn it, dude. Like, I don't know how they could have done that or told that story other than just revealing that earlier in the season, you know, which there wouldn't have been
Yeah.
time. But it's just, it just sucks that like we went these 3 extra episodes just really frustrated at that character. Um, and now I'm like, I'm totally on board. You know, I'm like,
Hmm.
I wish I had known that. It would, to
Well,
me, that would have made it a better story. I mean, because that's such a cool like journey to place Kate on.
yeah.
And it's like, to me, that's great writing. You know,
Hmm.
what wasn't great writing at all was the way they had her those last three episodes. You can defend it by saying, well, it's because they know they're gonna reveal the truth in a couple episodes. It's like, yeah, but I really felt like that Kate storyline, even if it is was small, it's still like a detriment to the overall episodes and the other stories we're telling. You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of
Yeah.
like they just needed filler until we got to a Kate centric episode.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know how they could have done it, without having to like rewrite the last few episodes.
Right?
you
Yeah.
know
Exactly.
Bi- and especially too because it's like I think what it is that we have to look at what exactly is happening in these episodes. None
Yeah.
of the Oceanic Six want to be back,
Right.
and they all have to reckon with that in some way. uh and then you have these three, and then Saeed finding out like, oh hey, you're in the 70s. It is now 1977,
Mm-hmm.
and we are part of Dharma and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a lot of information to front load on them as well as the audience. And and also it's the thing that they kind of mention, uh I think maybe in like the last episode or something, where Hurley and Kate are talking to Jack about like what Sawyer's doing, and
Mm-hmm.
Hurley's like, and you're just gonna let Sawyer do that? You're just gonna let Sawyer run things? And Jack's like, yeah. And it's because we kind of get to that in this episode with Jack, but it's like, first of all, none of them want to be here.
Yeah.
Uh and yeah, it is this weird thing of like, you get back into the sort of hierarchy when you have, like, if you've been removed from a state from a long time, once you are reintroduced back into that state, you kind of start to go back into your old routine. You kind of start to go back into, how you were, all that stuff. I think that's kind of how it is with like high school reunions too. It's like we haven't seen each other for a long time, and then it's like suddenly we're all here, and it's like, oh hey, like you kind of start to remember the quote unquote social order, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I think that's fascinating, but I think that's what's happening here is everybody's just expecting Jack to immediately take over again, immediately become the leader, immediately have a plan. I love that conversation that he has with Juliet. One, because you want to talk about acting selfish. Jack is acting selfish this whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to save a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Specifically, he's not going to save Ben as a
Yeah.
kid. He's like, I've already done that. Like, that's whatever happens here has nothing to do with me. And it's like,
But he even says later, he's like, I came back to save you. And she
mm-hmm,
yells at him. She's like, we didn't need saving.
mm-hmm,
And she doesn't have to say it. He knows it. Like everything's falling apart now because they're back.
mm-hmm,
I like later when Kate tells him, or before when Kate tells him, she's like, this is our fault. We came back. We brought Saeed back as well. This is on us.
mm-hmm,
Um, but yeah, dude, like he's talking about when Juliet asks, like, why did you come back? And he says, it's because it's what I'm supposed to do. And she's like,
mm-hmm,
and then she even's like, well, what happens next? And he's like, I don't know yet. Like, Jack,
mm-hmm,
it's being presented right there in front of you, you know?
mm-hmm,
And it's like,
mm-hmm,
you've already done this before. And now you're coming back to the island, but you want to do things differently. It's just, yeah, it's just weird, you know? It's so conflicting, and you could tell he's lost and crazy. Whereas John Locke is very much like we talked about. He's the person who he needs to be told what to do. He's going to keep going on this path until someone or something tells him what to do. Jack's like the opposite. He's looking for what he's supposed to do, but he's not reading any of the signs. Like he's expecting it to
mm-hmm.
slap him in the face. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, how would things have turned out if Jack did save Ben? And I think that's kind of a point of this episode because jumping to the end, Sawyer and Kate take him to Richard. Richard says we can save him, but he won't be the same. His innocence will be gone. He won't remember any of this. And from this point forward, he'll always be one of us, one of the
Mm-hmm.
others. So it's like, holy crap. Like, whatever Richard and the island does to Ben, like, that's what creates Ben. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Jack not helping kid Ben is what creates adult Ben. You're like,
Yep.
oh my God.
Yep.
That's good writing right there. You
That's
know, they're
yeah.
taking Jack's flaws and they're doubling down on them, and it's making things worse. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk time travel.
Yeah. There was a little
Let's
bit of time travel talk in this episode.
There's a lot of time travel talk.
I'm a little bummed that Hurley didn't understand it as much.
I am too.
I
I am
thought he
too.
would.
I think I get where he's coming from though, of like using like Back to the Future as the reference, because that's
Yeah.
technically true. You
Yeah.
know, it's like that for Back to the Future. That is the whole idea. It's like you have to do things exactly the same way. Everything has to line up, and if it doesn't line up, then you get erased from existence.
Yeah.
That's one theory.
Hmm.
But Matt, we just came off of watching 3 seasons of a whole time travel show,
Yeah.
and we know that that's not how that happens.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think time travel it's different rules for different media, you know?
Well, sure, but it's kind of the thing. Like I feel like Lost, the time travel of Lost shares a lot more in common with Dark than it does Back to the Future,
Right.
because it's sort of a lot of things sort of feel predetermined,
Hmm.
and that like, oh yeah, it's fated that, Oceanic Flight 815 is always going to crash. You know, Anna Lucia and Libby and Shannon, they're always going to die. Like
Yeah.
it's always these things. Spoilers if you haven't been watching Lost, but then why are you listening?
Yeah.
Um, but this sort of brings up an interesting thing, because they're talking about like, well, wait a second, like we're here now, that means we've had this conversation before, so why don't I remember it? And it's kind of the thing of like, well, it's because you haven't had this conversation
Yeah.
before. You are
Yeah.
living it exactly as it is right now.
It's like you need to think of it as a location, you
Yeah.
know? Like time isn't just a point in time, it's a location, you
Hmm.
know? Just because let me see, I'm trying to think of an example. Just because you've never been to Disneyland doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You know, it's there.
Hmm.
So, oh, that's a bad example. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like
As I'm bored.
I'm trying to explain it to Hurley, but like Hurley's the one talking about Back to the Future and disappearing.
Hmm.
Marty had no memory of going back to high school with his parents,
Hmm.
you know? So it kind of confuses me that like Hurley's the one who kind of has these theories about time travel, but he's also the one that doesn't understand time travel. Like
Yeah.
Miles knows more. And he probably got that from Dan before whatever happened to Dan, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So Lost, from what I can tell, seems like a singular timeline. Much the same way that they're jumping through time on the island, they're jumping through the timeline.
Hmm.
Because so far it seems like nothing can be changed.
Hmm.
Whereas, I guess it's kind of what you're saying. That's kind of like Dark. It doesn't really feel like anything can be changed in Dark. It's just one singular timeline.
Hmm.
Later, when you get the second timeline, if I'm not mistaken, they're not connected though.
Mm.
The thing that connects them is the people who leave that timeline.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's not like it's not like Hulk taking the time stone and he creates this splinter timeline. That's
Hmm.
Back to the Future right there. Marty
Hmm.
goes back and he creates this second timeline.
Hmm.
So I think Lost is more like Dark, where it's just like you can't change what is on the timeline.
Yeah.
So far, that's what we've
Hmm.
seen.
And it's interesting because, well, because Hurley is also, asking like if Ben was shot by Saeed as a kid,
I'm
then
glad
why
he brought
didn't
that up.
then why didn't Ben remember
Yeah,
Saeed when he saw him, later on? And
yeah,
my whole argument is just like, well, who's to say he didn't? We have
that's true.
absolutely no idea,
That's
you
true. But at
know?
the end, Richard says he won't remember any of this.
And then yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
And
oh,
then there's that. It's like, okay, like that's I guess like that's one way, that's sort of like a,
to explain it. Yeah.
yeah, to sort of explain it away. But yeah, it is just like, for me, the best analogy that I could come up with time is that time is a lake. Time is a lake that at any single one point you can experience at the same time or at different times. I'm sitting on the dock.
Hmm.
At some other point in time, I'm swimming in the lake. At
Mm,
some other point in time, I'm sitting on the little beach area of the
yeah.
lake. Those are all happening for me linearly,
Yeah.
but time itself, they're all happening at once.
It reminds me of like, like a time lapse or like the
Hmm.
montage where you see like multiple, it's one person, but you see them at different points in time all at once. And then you have Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's like if a certain person dies, your whole timeline gets erased.
That's dumb. Also, apparently they don't even get it right because anchor beings don't exist on the sacred timeline. So it literally is in just those other alternate realities
Huh.
where anchor beings exist. Like that's kind of like the whole reason why they exist.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's also weird because one, I guess you removed a Wolverine from his universe, so I guess that timeline's fully dead now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, cool. So now we've put him back in this universe. But if if the Deadpool movies, we've made it canon that the Deadpool movies also take place in the world of Logan, and Logan has already happened. They're in the midst of like a whole mutant like apocalypse that's happening right now, where like that
Yeah.
that that was one of the key points of Logan, is that instead of the government issuing and building giant robots to come and murder mutants,
Hmm.
they laced every single food product with a degenerative virus that kills mutants, any
Hmm.
mutants that eat it. So it's fun and cool watching, like Wade and his friends like partying and stuff. But I'm pretty sure in like a couple of years, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend are going to be dead.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't make sense. It's like unless it's just because.
Unless like because, oh, we killed Richard E. Grant and
Yeah.
Boyd
Also,
Holbrook, I guess that means that they're dead now. Like nobody's doing that.
Logan was also kind of in the future, not far, but in the future.
Yeah.
Like, and Deadpool clearly is not. Like,
Yeah.
I'm it. I
It's just
don't
like,
know.
it's just the thing where it's like I understand why Deadpool would, in Deadpool 2, use like Logan's death as like a thing, because it's like he's so meta. Like he knows that he's in a comic book movie.
Hmm.
He knows that these other comic book movies exist. That's why he's able to break the fourth wall and do that and comment on them. But to make the entirety of Deadpool 3, or I'm sorry, Deadpool and Wolverine, just like, oh, we're like, yeah, definitely. Logan actually takes place in the Deadpool universe too. So then that's why, and it's like, it's so weird. So it's like, so the Fox movies all take place in the same universe, but we just grabbed another Wolverine from somewhere else, and that's why the universe still keeps to live, but
I don't.
it just
Yeah.
doesn't like, yeah, it's just like here's the thing. Comic book continuity makes no sense.
Just like these movies. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it only makes sense that the movie continuity would also not make sense.
My whole thing
But
is
it's
just
just the
like
thing that like makes me mad.
I think there's just different universes. They're different timelines. You
Yeah,
know,
I agree.
we don't ever go back to the cast of The Last Stand.
Yeah,
You know, so the Logan we see in Days of Futures Past, that's a different one. You know,
yeah.
also because Patrick Stewart's dead, so it's like they kind of tried to explain it and it was just dumb.
Hmm.
But no, it's like
Well,
that's
remember he does come back at the end of Last Stand.
oh yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
still like it's just they don't know what they're doing, and like in comics that's fine because these comics go on for decades and have so many different writers and authors, but when you're making films and there's only x amount of films, x, get it, every couple of years,
Oh.
you have to keep some kind of continuity, you
Hmm.
know. So yeah, in my mind, no, Days of Future Past, that's an entirely different X-Men universe. You know,
Hmm.
Logan,
Hmm.
that's an entirely, so that Logan, he gets his happy ending, it gets fixed,
Hmm.
the end. The Logan from Logan, that's an entire different world.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I don't even think Deadpool's in that world. It might have been something similar, but
Hmm.
like the Wolverine he digs up, that's not actually from the Logan movie. You know,
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
how. That's the only way it makes sense in my head.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
yeah, I agree. I agree.
yeah,
And especially like going back to like the X-Men movies, like once you started doing the prequels, you know,
yeah,
First Class and Days of Future Past, it's like yeah, like they just kind of became their own separate universe
hmm,
by that point. And then yeah, like Dark Phoenix fully is just like, no, yeah, this is a wholly and completely different universe
yeah,
altogether.
yeah.
Yeah, so that yeah, that's how it is in my mind. And it like it's so weird because once they announced that they were doing multiverse and they sort of announced that like every Marvel movie is now canon
Hmm.
within the MCU, they just take place on different worlds and stuff. It's like it kind of just killed it for me. I'm just like,
Mm.
no, no, they're not. Like
I mean,
they're
that's
just
kind of
not
it
like
makes sense. It makes the most sense to me because as soon as they announced, because there were still rumors, like they hadn't actually said it, but they were saying that we're going to do a multiverse, everything's going to be canon, and that's when I was
mhm,
thinking, well, wait a second, what about what if? Does that
mhm,
mean all those stories are canon because those are happening in some world somewhere?
mhm,
You know, to me, it simplifies it. I'm like, okay, that's happening somewhere. You know,
mhm.
it's not a what if, it is an what is, you know,
Yeah.
on some world somewhere. I just read about Cancerverse. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah.
What the hell is that? So apparently the superheroes worship this eldritch god, and basically all living matter on this planet becomes a giant mass screaming ball of flesh.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
That's wild.
That's wild. Yeah. Ugh,
Comics are crazy. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm
I can't wait for that movie.
no, I mean like honestly, yeah. I would go watch that movie.
That's where they should have sent Deadpool.
That's where they should have sent Deadpool.
Deadpool versus the Cancerverse.
There you go. There you go. You want to talk $1 billion? There you go. Although I
Hmm.
guess they didn't really need any help with that. But I
Yeah.
saw somebody was posting up photos or pictures of uh the Injustice comics.
Hmm.
Specifically, they were posting up photos from the relationship of Killer Croc and Orca.
Mm.
And it's just like, I'm sorry, it's kind of a beautiful love story of just Killer Croc and Orca finding love in this weird superhero apocalypse, getting married, having a kid, you know, all this stuff. And uh they I guess like they're fighting like Gorilla Grodd and like the apes from like Ape City or something.
Hmm.
And uh what is it? Killer Croc kills one of the gorillas, and then Orca just looks at him and is like, "Did you just kill a gorilla for me?" He's like, "Yeah, I did. That's the most beautiful thing anybody's ever done." And she snaps another gorilla's neck, and then they just start making out. And I'm like, I'm I am fully serious. We need to get superhero movies out of the like it's our world, but heightened. It's a heightened reality.
Yeah,
No, I don't want
yeah.
that. No, I need Killer Croc and Orca making out on my giant movie theater screen.
Dude,
That's what I need.
there's some amazing moments in the Injustice comic, and I've never really liked Injustice, just
Hmm.
mainly because of evil Superman. I think it's such a boring trope, you
Yeah.
know. At least they're able to make Homelander interesting,
Hmm.
but evil Superman is just like, okay, whatever.
Just a fascist, like literally, just like
Yeah,
yeah, just a fascist.
like and again, I don't care about the boys. I don't watch the boys, but I can't stop watching. I'm always looking up clips and watching, and I'm like, essentially, they make the evil Superman, but they give him the Joffrey treatment, like
Hmm.
not a one note character, and that's what's scary. Like they really get into his head, and I think he's done a lot better in the show than in the comics.
Oh, 100%.
But again, evil Superman never gets that. Also because the whole premise is just it doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Point I was gonna make, the comics really go into it a lot, and I love so much of the Injustice comics. I love Constantine in the Injustice verse because he has a
Mhm.
daughter, and that's his whole motivation. I got to do what I can to get my daughter out of here. I like I love Harley Quinn in
Mhm.
Injustice. I like her relationship with Green Arrow. It's just little things like that. Like there's some cool stuff, and I'm like,
Mhm.
damn,
I love Plastic Man.
yeah.
Like Plastic Man is such a huge character in the Injustice comics.
Hmm.
And I'm
Hmm.
like, why is he in the game? Like this is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool. Like having this character and
I
he's the hero who like officially calls him out and is just like, look, Superman's a dictator. He's sitting on a throne. It's like
yeah,
that's like and calling everybody out who's surrounding him who are supposed to be their friends, their colleagues. It's like
yeah,
Superman is literally sitting on a throne.
yeah,
What are we doing here? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And like, so the point I'm trying to make is that they had it being like this non-prime timeline universe and story they're telling. They got to swing for the fences and really do something cool.
Hmm.
But at the same time, so much of that Injustice universe it just sucks. I'm like,
Yeah.
this isn't interesting whatsoever, you
Yeah.
know? And
Nightwing got
that's
taken out by a rock,
that,
and I'll never
yeah,
forget that.
yeah. Like, it's interesting what they were doing with Damian Wayne. And I'm like, okay, if he does go bad, I could kind of see this happening, but that's not by a freaking rock, Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just, it's dumb. Um, so yeah, I think that's just a very interesting, like, those are two examples of how, given the power of using this intellectual property, but it's not really the actual intellectual property, you know? It's a
Hmm.
different version, so we could do whatever we want. Having that
Hmm.
power, you can do some really cool stuff. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of people who I don't think are good writers and they don't know what they're doing and
Yep.
they do not good stuff. And I'm like, oh my
Hmm.
God. So
Which is a lot different than, for the most part, the writers on Lost.
so far, man, I'm really digging this. Um,
Because that's what we were talking about. That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
yeah, we jump from time travel to timeline to multiverse.
Hmm.
Uh,
A Lost multiverse would be fascinating.
I just want to see
It'd be
all the different
wild.
versions of Hurley.
But I want to see all the versions of Hurley, but I can't stop thinking like they would probably just be done like the same way they did all the different multiverse versions of Jet Li in the one where he's just wearing different outfits and different wigs. It's like, this
Yeah.
is surfer Jet Li. This
Uh-huh.
is kind of queer Jet Li. This is Yakuza Jet Li. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh man.
Oh man.
I hope Jet
What
Li's doing all right.
I hope so
It's been
too.
a while since we've seen him.
Man,
Um,
technically that was the last movie I watched at my old place.
the one?
The one
Wow.
I watched it before we before going to watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Jeez. I am Yula. I am nobody's bitch.
You mine. Hell yeah.
Cut
Great
my
movie.
life into pieces.
Listeners, here's what I need you to do right now. This is your homework. Dan, this is your homework. Um I need you to go watch The One right now. It's on Tubi. It's free on Tubi right now with
Dude,
ads.
Tubi's
That's
blowing up, man.
that's
Like
where I watched it.
everyone's falling in love with Tubi. They're like, we'll use ads for
I'm
Tubi.
here. I'm
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I'm totally here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh yeah, like I saw not too long ago I saw this like Tubi original movie. It's like a kind of a horror. It was very low budget and I was like, this is pretty rad. This is a Tubi original. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the one and I'm like, this is a great for me as far as streaming platforms go. Uh Dropout's number one and then it's Tubi. The
Yeah.
only thing that Dropout doesn't have is original movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to change really soon.
I'm kind of surprised that they haven't tried it yet.
Well, because it's been a thing that's been kind of in flux. You know, it's like the pandemic, like they were really able to come into their own,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were sort of seeing like, well, what's working? What are people really liking, and what more can we do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think just this year alone, they've really like just every show that they've premiered has done numbers, and
They they they've gotten away though from scripted, as far as I can tell.
they have, and I think that's fine because I think that allowed them to really like I think that just really allowed them to grow, you
Yeah.
know? But I think that's a thing that I'm pretty sure Sam Reich knows and kind of like kind of heard that like some of the other people have like, kind of been saying that as well. But I think that's kind of what they might be gearing up toward for
Yeah.
again, like doing more scripted stuff.
Yeah.
So, and if that's the case, I'm really excited. Because again, it's a great platform.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. We are not sponsored. We would like to be. So, Sam
Yeah.
Reich, I know you're a friend. I know you listen. I know you listen to this. So,
Yeah. Send us money
let's get it going. Yeah.
or bring us on into your show. I don't know
Either
though.
or, honestly, I'll take it. If you give us the ads to run and then we'll go on your show. That
I
sounds
mean,
like a
I feel
fair
like that's a
trade-off.
win-win for both. Both of us are winning. I don't know what they're getting out of
Oh,
it.
dang, that's true.
I
Free ad space?
you see, man, like I don't know. I would definitely go on actually, but
Hmm.
I don't know about the look. If they invited me, I would go. But like,
Hmm.
I'm not a comedian. Like, I don't know what I would.
I mean, look, like they
Bro,
invite so
they're
many
all
other people.
comedians.
Well, okay, true, but they invite so many other people on the show that aren't exclusively comedians,
That's true, but I
you know?
what's the one where they're all in the room talking and they give a presentation? Smarty
Oh,
Pants?
Smarty Pants, yeah.
Every single person in that room is a comedian.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
You know,
Fair enough. Fair
like
enough.
actually is the only one where it's not. I guess there's another one I haven't seen but I guess there's more of like kind of like the quote unquote I call them just like interview segments
Hmm.
like jeez what's the one with the drinks
Oh, Dirty Laundry.
Dirty Laundry, yeah.
Mhm.
it's not all comedians, you know. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so something like that, you know, that's cool. That'll be fun. But yeah, like I don't know, because I'm seeing everyone who's joining, and I watched the trailer for uh, is it Dirty Laundry? They just dropped a trailer, and I'm watching, and I'm like, dude, like most of these guests are from Smosh. And I'm like, yeah, again,
Yeah.
it's comedians. I'm like, damn, like I don't know if I could hang with that. Like I'm just gonna be there quiet in the corner. Like, oh God.
You know, you I think you're funnier than you give yourself credit for.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really do.
I could be snarky.
Yeah, you can be snarky.
Yeah, no, I think like
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Dropout sells friendship.
oh.
It sell well, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so cute. But no, it sells friendship. It
Yeah.
sells the friendship of everybody involved at Dropout. That's why you have
Yeah.
the shows. And really, that's their success. Their biggest success
Yeah.
is how how people have latched onto these relationships that
Yeah.
everybody has with each other, and kind of like it's like, using D20 as an example. It's like they you can see the difference when, like, oh, we have the core cast that started it, the Intrepid Heroes. It's an Intrepid Hero season versus when, oh, we're just doing a side quest, we're doing a one-off, it's a shorter
Hmm.
season, but they have more guests, or they have different people involved, or it's like, hey,
Hmm.
this season's got Mike Trapp in it. I know Mike Trapp. He was the host of Actually.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love that guy. Blah blah. Doing all the stuff, and it's like, I think, I don't know. I just think that that's kind of a cool thing. That's like they were able to like take their relationships that they had at work and really just use that to put out there.
All right, Sam, you've talked me into it. Sam Reich, I'll gladly go onto any dropout show. I'm
Yes.
putting the invitation to myself out there. You just
Yes.
need to accept it.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
All right.
Unlike Jack Shepard,
Mm-hmm.
we are willing to step into the universe and set our feet on whatever path is laid before us.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Well, what an episode.
What an episode.
I don't know what else to talk about because I mean, you kind of said it earlier. Not a lot happened. Like,
Mhm.
uh, a lot did, but it was all
It's all character growth, and
yeah. And I
we're
think
learning more about
I
Kate and
I think
everyone.
that's why I really liked it too because as dire as the stakes were, it's like every scene was a nice little character scene. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
plot wise, it was very simple.
Hmm.
What predictions? What do you think is going to happen next?
Oof. Well, I'm Baby Ben's becoming an other, so I'm
Yeah.
sure that's going to come into play, in a scary way. And I think they'll do an interesting way. I think they'll recontextualize what we've already seen, because
Hmm.
we already know Ben like kills everybody at Dharma.
Yeah.
Like, I think we'll get a cool recontextualization of that. Yeah, Jack is kind of going down this path of kind of becoming a believer,
Hmm.
you know, which
But
which
he
I feel
doesn't
like
want to be. Like
which
it's
I feel
weird.
like is bad. I feel like
Yeah.
that's the bad thing, because
Yeah.
he's essentially like he's kind of turning into Locke. He at some point he's gonna need to be told what to do. That's kind of this whole thing, like him going to the island, trying to get the six together. He's being told what to do,
Yeah.
and
I wish someone would tell
so.
him that. Be like,
Mhm,
you sound like Locke.
mhm, yeah, just like
Yeah.
him making sandwiches, showering, waiting around for the situation to do. It's like, dude, you're John. You're John Locke. You know,
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly like what you said earlier. It's just like you're waiting for somebody to slap you in the face and tell you this is how it has to be. This is what needs to be done. When the old Jack Shepherd wouldn't allow himself to let a kid die.
I love when Kate kind of says something like that. She's like, I don't like this new you. I like the old Jack who wouldn't sit around doing this. And
Mm-hmm.
he tells her, you didn't like what? You didn't like that Jack. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. It's like
ooh.
you didn't like me, Kate. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. You didn't like the old me. I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
I'm like, ooh, it's like, hey, okay.
Hmm.
That's a zing for Jack. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta call her out because he's 100% right.
And then I love when Sawyer is helping her and he's like, doesn't matter what this kid becomes. It's never right to just let a kid die.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm doing it for her. And he's talking about Juliet. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, hell yeah. That
Mm-hmm.
man's in love. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of catches Kate off guard too. He's like, I'm doing it for her. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh shit.
Because
Yep.
like you can kind of see that she's like
He's like, he's
Kate's
helping
kind of
me.
it's like he's helping me. Why is
Yeah.
he helping me? It's like Kate, it's not about you.
It's about Juliet. Yeah.
It's about Juliet, and it's like yeah, like so much. It's so crazy, like how these characters have grown,
Yeah.
and who becomes more responsible and more mature,
Right.
and who just
Exactly.
regresses completely. It's like
Yeah.
man, like it's so crazy. It's so wild,
Hmm.
I love it. God, man, this show rules.
Yeah, man. It's awesome.
Show's freaking great.
Oh, man. Yep. All right. So,
That should be a t-shirt too. It'd be like, this show rules.
show rules.
Lost.
That's pretty much it. Oh God, what's happening? Stop.
What are you doing?
I'm on my notes and it started typing what I'm saying. Next week, we're talking about Lost, Season 5, Episode 12, Dead is Dead, in which Locke must decide what to do with Benjamin Linus. It's pretty much shit. Oh God, what's happening? That's literally what my phone started writing.
Wow.
I'm just gonna leave that as part of it.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny. Now, was it recording what I was saying, or was it typing it just before I was saying it? Oh,
Whoa.
AI.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Oh, so
We didn't do MVPs.
Evangeline Lilly. Like it's
Yeah.
been a long time since they gave her material like this to chew on, you know?
Yeah, I
And I think
agree.
she did fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just like if for nothing else, the entire final scene with Claire's mom, Aaron's grandma,
You you
like that
know,
entire moment was just uh
that was great.
incredible.
That was like incredible acting, but also the scene when she loses Aaron and also the scene when she's just laying on the couch talking to Cassidy and like
Hmm.
she's like tearing up. Like Evangeline Lilly delivered every single scene, and I noticed you on her two scenes where she's talking to Roger, and it's not really like a real like emotive scenes to act in, but Kate
Hmm.
is just killing it, and the actor who plays Roger as well. And I'm like, dude, like, write good and you'll actually get to see what your actors can do. Like, I'm
Hmm.
just, again, I'm flabbergasted, Sam. I'm flabbergasted at
Hmm.
at just the audacity of having us dislike Kate so much for so long, uh, just to pull this on us. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. No, I
just
agree.
complete turnaround. And I don't mean that as a positive. Like, oh, you pulled a fast one. It's like, no, guys, I think you really did a disservice to Kate and the show by keeping this on the back burner.
Yeah, I
I don't know
agree.
how else they would have done it, but you got Evangeline Lilly is acting her heart out in this episode. There's no reason why she had to be like pretty sidelined for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I agree.
So
Also,
that
I want to give a shout out to Michael Giacchino for just
mhm.
absolutely tearing it up this episode with the score. I feel like a lot of times the score gets lost in the shuffle, you
Yeah,
know. And this time he was really able to give us something that we really hadn't heard before. Just this very sweeping, moving, piece.
yeah,
That's just overlaid, but overlaying Kate saying goodbye to kind of her kid, you
yeah.
know?
You know,
And yeah, I was just floored. And I'm like, man, Chiquino, you gotta get back into this, man. I loved your score on the Batman, but like it needed more.
he's
It
such
needed
an
more
he's
oomph.
he's such an animated dude. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, I
Mm-hmm.
love the score from The Credibles. Even Star
Yeah.
Trek, you know, just when he's
Mm-hmm.
able to like just shoot for the stars, he does.
Mm-hmm.
I dare you to go watch Mission Impossible 3 right now and you'll
Yeah.
see cuz it's lost.
It's the
Uh-oh,
lost
someone's
music.
dying.
Sad
Doom
piano music.
doom doom. Doom. You're like, "All
Mm-hmm.
right, all right." That's why they gave him the job because he's the guy from Lost, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
like I
Yeah,
get that.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I want more of him.
Me too.
So, okay, before we leave, sorry to gone long enough, and I'm sure Sam's hungry and slowly dying on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Latest installment of Marry, Bang, or Die Fighting Beside.
Okay.
Today we have Saeed,
Ooh.
Benjamin Linus,
Ooh.
and Charlotte.
You know, contrary to what I really believe, what I truly believe a marriage should be like and about, there's absolutely nothing that says that you have to love the person that you marry.
Hey, that's the history of the world, man.
That is 100% the history of the world. You know, uh, yeah. So here's how it's gonna go down, Matt. And I don't want you to think any less of me, but we're gonna marry Ben.
Interesting.
We're gonna we're gonna bang Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna die fighting beside Saeed
Okay, that last one makes sense. Why would you marry Ben?
because of the security, and because I also
Yeah.
don't want to bang Ben. There's also nothing that says,
So
that
this is a sexless
that this
marriage.
100% this is a sex. Look at that man. You look at that man and tell me that he's actually had sex. That he's actually
Maybe
no.
that's his
That man
problem.
that man gives the of anybody in the show outside of Frogurt. Okay, no. Frogurt is number one incel.
Oh,
Second
good point.
only to Ben
That's
Linus.
a good point.
Ben Linus is an incel, and
Damn.
no, yeah, no, it's like, hey, people have married for a lot less, and you could be uh well, maybe not co-leader of the island because I don't think he'd share that responsibility with
No,
anybody. But you'll be fine. You're arm candy. Nobody can touch you.
that's true.
He'll betray me at some point, but maybe
I
maybe I'll be the one who turns the tables on him. Who
I don't
knows?
know, man. I see how possessive he is of Juliet, and I
Hmm.
think it would just be worse being married to him.
Is it? But is it so wrong to be wanted? Is
I
it so
would.
wrong to be, to have somebody want me in that way? Probably. I'm really regretting my answer, but
I
it's really, really honestly, this is just because I don't want to bang Ben. That's really the only thing that it is.
I would channel
I'm
the
not that
inner
strong.
brothel worker
Oof.
in me
Oof.
There's an
Uh-huh.
entire history of them who are in my position right now, and I would use their strength.
Podcasting?
Yes, and I would use that strength to bite the bullet, have a one night stand with Ben.
Damn it.
Then I would marry Charlotte because
I
although we barely know her, like
really don't know her.
I don't know her, she's a stranger,
She seems
but
nice.
we'll have awesome little beautiful brown
British
skin,
children?
redheaded babies. I don't
Yeah.
know, named Lorelai. I don't know what's a British name.
I think
Marigold,
Marigold. There you
and
go.
yeah, and then for sure
Rupert.
die fighting beside Saeed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd marry Saeed. He's the best answer out of this group.
Oh,
But
100%. Saeed is the best answer for every single option in this one. So much so that I'm sorry, Charlotte. You seemed like a great person,
yeah,
but I want to take a gun and I want to kill both Ben and Charlotte and just have all three options with Saeed. That's just it,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
Oh
Uh
well.
yeah.
Well,
We learned something about ourselves today.
yeah, listeners, let us know
Mhm.
if you absolutely had to. Would you sleep with Benjamin Linus? That's the
Oy.
question of the week. Let us know at hashtag Lost Legacies. We'll see it wherever you drop it. As always, I'm on Twitter at _Matt Jimenez and on Instagram at Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Real. It's REEL Texas Weirdo.
That's right. You could text us, email us, all the things in the details in the description of this podcast. We're also on YouTube at the Hidden City Book Company. All our episodes are up there online as we speak. Until next time, where I'm sure all our questions will be answered. Get lost.
Get lost.